All right, so tonight we have three special guests that happen to be on my team. So I'm really, really excited about this. All three of these ladies have been top enrollers for the last 2 or 3 months, probably longer than that, but I just started really noticing that they are just amazing enrollers. And I wanted to do a Zoom for all of you so that you could learn what they're doing and do it too. Because, I mean, they are just enrolling every single day. And that's what we all want. We all want our businesses to grow. That's why we signed up for this crazy wrap thing, is so that we could change our families' lives and change our lives and change other people's lives. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get all three of you ladies on here. Let me see if here we go. I'm going to get the gallery view. So let me see. First of all, let me just go ahead and ask all three of you to share separately, but just so you guys can be thinking about this. Who wants to go first? Katie M. I should have probably asked you guys first, or asked you guys this, but Katie M., Kendra, who wants to go first?
It doesn't matter if you two, I can.
Okay. Was that Emma?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have you go first then. Cool. And then Katie, you can go, and then Kendra. All right. So first of all, Emma, I just want you to kind of share what you kind of do on a daily basis. So what are the things that you do on a daily basis to just work your business, whether it's posting, just walk us through your day.
Okay, no problem. So I do this full time. So it's basically from when I wake up until when I go to sleep. And obviously we know that you can work it in smaller time frames than that, but I do basically the same thing every single day. So immediately when I wake up, I answer any messages I have, whether it be on Facebook Messenger or Instagram or text messages, whatever it is. I respond to messages, and then I try to get my first post up immediately. So,
okay, so how do you get those messages?
It's normally just from responses from people that I either followed up with the day before, that like I was already
from a post,
or in conversation, or I will also, before I post, I go through like my notifications. So if anybody new has like commented on a product post or a business post, or has, if I have a message request from someone that's reaching out to me in that way, I'll address those then also to start the day. And then I make sure that I post. It depends on my mood, but normally in the morning I do either a business post or like a non-networks post. I do a lot of quotes and response posts and funny memes and stuff like that. So normally in the morning, I know people are like rushing out the door, so they're not going to like sit there and read my like 4-page paragraph of me like spilling my heart out. So I normally just try to post something funny or a quote, and then I'm posting about every 2 hours every day. So I'm just alternating. I'll do a non-networks post, like a quote, like I said, and then I'll do, a business post, and then a post about something I'm interested in, like whether it's fashion or food or something I'm eating, whatever it is. And then I'll do a product post. So just every 2 hours, I'm trying to stay posting. And then in between all of that, I am basically always following up with people. I think I have it right here. I am like a hundreds list, like maniac. So that's how I run. Like when I tell you this entire stack is it's all names. So every day I have a separate hundreds list for that day. And anyone that I knew that I talked to or follow up with, or anyone that's expressed interest, I write their name down. And then on the top of the hundreds list, I'll write the date 2 days from then. So I know 2 days from then that I need to then go down this list and check back in with them. So that's something, every day I'm picking up the list from 2 days ago and going through it to follow up. So it's constantly just posting and following up and messaging anybody that likes any post, anybody that comments on any post. Even just interacting with people, that whether it not be about it works, just, checking in with them or saying hi or commenting on people's pictures. So I just try to interact all day. And then
so can I cut in real quick? Whenever someone likes a post, will you tell us what you message them and say?
Yeah, definitely. So I used to like overcomplicate it and try to type out like this whole paragraph with like emojis and like make it look cute. And then I just like simplified it, and literally if it's like a greens post, I'll just be like, hey, interested in the I flat out just ask. I try to keep it really simple, or be like, hey, I saw you liked my post, are you interested? Because I used to whole spiel about like, oh, like I only have one spot left for the 90-day tester, but I don't want to like overwhelm them with information. So I literally just like, hey, are you interested? And even if it's a business post, I'm just like, hey, are you interested in how I earn a paycheck from my phone? Like that's literally all I say to start a conversation.
That's awesome. Oh, so So one thing that she said that is really important is that whenever she messages people, she asks a question. You always want to end everything with a question. So I know sometimes you'll say something like, does that work for you? Or things like that at the end once you go through it. So once you message someone and you say, hey, are you interested in the greens? And they respond, what do you say after that?
If they say that they are, I normally try to talk a little bit about it. I don't go right into like them ordering or the 90-day tester or like a discount or anything. I just like to first send a message just kind of explaining what it is and like what I like about it. So if it's the greens, and I'm like super enthusiastic when I message, like almost to the point where if it was in person, they may think I'm crazy, but I feel like people respond well to it. So if it's the greens, I'll just say something about, how it gives you all the servings of fruits and veggies and it gives you like crazy energy. And for me, my like kicker with the greens is I always say, because it's normally younger people I'm talking to, and I'm like, by the way, it cures hangovers, because like it does. So I'll try to add in something like that and just say like it'll make them feel like $1,000,000. So I just kind of go over what the product does or what I like about it, or I try to be different every time. So I'm just trying to like truly have a conversation with them about what I like about them to get them excited about them before I go into anything else about the product.
Do you actually set your posts up, or do you actually have an alarm that goes off that reminds you to post every 2 hours, or how does that work for you?
I have never used Buffer or anything like that. Well, mainly because when I started, I worked like 100% on Instagram. So there wasn't really anything besides doing airplane mode and then post through. I never really did it because after I joined, I quit my full-time job in like 2.5 months. So I just basically know in my head, like a schedule, like I know when I wake up, I have to, and then when I eat lunch at like 12, I have to. And then it's just like, I think it's routine by now. But in the beginning, when I first I set an alarm for 9, 12, 3, 6, and 9 to post. That's the times that like work best for me to put posts up on Facebook or Instagram.
So you post at the same time on Facebook and on Instagram?
Yes, I try to. I've kind of experimented with it and tried to do, like I'll put a business post on Facebook and then a product post on Instagram, just in case there's like people that are on both. But then I felt like that wasn't like as income producing, and I was wasting time trying to do 2 separate ones. So if anything, if they're on both, it just gets them to see it twice then. So yeah, I try to post everything I do on Facebook to Instagram also.
And do you post separately, or do you do from Instagram automatically to your Facebook?
Separately. I was taught, I don't know when it was a little bit, probably like half a year ago, because I just used to share my posts from Instagram to Facebook. Because like I said, I was mostly on Instagram. Like all I did was share my posts to Facebook. I never worked Facebook. So I was always sharing, and I don't know who it was, but somebody told me that actually makes it not show up in the algorithm more if you're just sharing it. So it's better to actually like physically post it to Facebook, because then it'll show up more in people's newsfeed.
Right. You have to go a little extra step, but it takes a couple extra seconds or something.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it because more people see it that way.
Right. So what tip do you have for someone who maybe, has kids and has activities they're running to all the time, and maybe they can't just, maybe they have another full-time job. Do you have a tip for them how they could be as productive as you are? Like, what were you doing when you still had your full-time job that you're not doing, that you're doing something differently now? What were you doing before?
I was actually nannying. So not that it compares to being a mom, but being around kids 24/7, I had that. So what I would do is I had to get up super, super early to be at their house to watch them. And I was there from like 5 a.m. until like 6 p.m. So I was there the whole day. So anytime I know that I needed to post, I hid in the bathroom. And like, I know that's not great, but like, if you need to get a post up, if you can plan it out the night before and spend half an hour and then just know like, okay, I have to post now, not using Buffer or whatever, if it's for Instagram, just like go and give yourself like a minute and a half, 2 minutes in the bathroom and get the post up. And then whenever you get home from your job, if you can sit down and do an actual power hour and like make sure that everything you're doing is income producing and you're not scrolling, you can get the same amount done in that hour that like someone like me where, yeah, I'm working all day, but I'm not constantly doing income producing. Like, I'm running an errand or I'm cleaning or I'm doing this or that. You can still get the same amount of time done in the day. I know that Allison always posts, like power hour ideas, and so does Beth. And like, just if you follow those, you can get the same amount of work done as long as you're staying consistent with posting. That can be the power to like catch up and get the messages out and the follow-ups, and you can still be at the same exact place as somebody who, does this full time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. So if you were to give us an example of a post that, really helps you get some loyal customers or get some comments and get some activity going.
Definitely. I used to This is really weird. I say this to people and they never like believe me, but I have never in a year and 4 months, I have never posted a before and after picture ever, which is like weird, but I have solely just done like product pictures or pictures of me with the products. That's what always worked for me. But recently, what's been working for me, like I said with the follow-up messages, is being so short and simple. So, we talked about last month, the like free product post with other people posting the status. That did like immensely great for me. Like that got me a ton of customers. But also I've just kind of tried to keep it very simple on my page. With just more basic posts saying, like who would want to lose 15 to 20 pounds, or, this supplement does this, like, would you take it? Like more open-ended short ones, not like, oh, this is ThermoFit and it does this, this price. And the more simple I've been keeping it, the more response I've been getting, because people are intrigued because they don't know what it is yet, and they want to ask questions and they want to, talk to you. If you can get that in to talk, and then you can know that you're confident in the products and talking to people, and you have, your website to look at, that's what's been working best for me, is just to do more of the
simple,
not bland questions, but like more generic ones where it's not
right.
A million pictures. Well, it'll literally just be a status, and like I'll get a response, people being like, yes, I would take that. So for me, that's been working well when they want to know what it is more.
Right. It's something simple like just, who's looking to grow their hair out or things like that. You're not mentioning a product, so it can be compliant. Or even just with the cleanse, you can say, if you could drink a 4-ounce, little bottle of what. So those little simple ones are the ones that really do tend to work, because people don't have to read this whole long book about all the stuff that they don't care about. And then it seems very advertising and very salesy. And we don't want to be like that.
Exactly. It's so simple. And people, I think it relates to more people if it's just that like open-ended question, and it's not, like showing a specific product, or because, it's not a good thing, but some people do have like preconceived notions about certain products. They're like, oh, I don't want that because, my friend took that and it didn't work. If you just keep it more open-ended where you can get the end to talk to them and be personable and like make that relationship with them, it's easier to then have them become a customer.
No, that's awesome. So another question, and then we'll go to Katie soon. What are you doing to like expand your market? Are you doing something every day to expand your market? Are you just keeping with your warm market? What are you doing?
Well, when I first started, like I said, I was mostly on Instagram. And so by that, I was just following and commenting and liking daily on Instagram to grow my market. And then I used Instagress, and then that got shut down like 2 weeks ago. And like I cried many tears. So I haven't figured that one out yet, what I'm going to do to replace that. But with Facebook, I am a Facebook like group junkie. So that's where, because like I said, I never used to work my business on Facebook, and I didn't really have a huge warm market at all. So I got into so many groups, and there's literally a group for like everything you could ever think of. Like you could like the weirdest thing, and I promise you like 4,000 other people like the same weird thing you like. So I am very active in my groups. You do have to make sure that the groups you're in are okay with you adding people from them, but all the ones that I'm in are. So that's how I grow my market on Facebook. I am constantly posting in my groups or interacting in my groups, just talking to people and then adding them from there. And I would say probably almost every distributor I've signed off of Facebook in the past like 2 to 3 months has been someone that I met in a group on Facebook.
That's awesome. So you're expanding your market. So when you post in your group or in your Facebook groups, are you just doing like, say the group is I don't know, give me an example of a group you're in.
Like for the specific breed of dog I have, I'm in like 4 groups for a Shiba Inu, which is
okay.
a dog.
So like for that, are you just posting stuff about the dog? Like maybe you're saying like, I don't even know what to say for a dog, but are you saying something like, you're not saying any It Works posts in there. You're talking about the dogs in there. And then when people like or comment on your post, are you just adding them from there?
Yeah, I literally have never spoken about It Works in any of my groups ever, because I know a lot of them don't allow any type of like MLM to be like advertised in them. So even if it's a dog group, because whatever breed of dog you have, there's groups for it. I will literally post like a selfie with my dog and be like, drop a selfie with your dog below. And then like 400 people will comment pictures of their dogs. And then I will like them, be like, oh my God, so cute, and add them. And
That's
even
it.
by that and people adding me back, it's maybe like 1 out of 8 that actually does this. But if I have 8 people add me back, normally at least one of them will be scrolling and I'll get a comment like on a product post or on a business post. Because it's all about growing your market. Like, I feel like that's the most important thing about
I completely agree. One of the things I said once in Bling Team not too long ago was, if you don't do anything else for your business today, add to your market. It's so important.
Or like, I've followed even on Instagram for like 2 hours, and then you follow that one person, and in an hour they're like, okay, I want to sign up. And you're like, okay, well, what if I didn't sit there and add people? Like, what if I never added her? You know, like I always say, the next person you add could be your rock star on your team. You have no idea. So it's always.
That's exactly right. Okay. And so before we move on to Katie, can you, what other like tip or tips can you give people who are, listening?
Oh, good. I would say to be yourself. I know that it's very easy to copy and paste it on and to want certain scripts or whatever, but I find that, and don't get me wrong, like I'll use other people's posts and tweak them for me, like we all do that, but I find if I sit down for 5 minutes and I actually like type out my own business post, the amount of responses I'll get off of that is like 10 times more than the other ones, because people know when it's you and they know when you're being genuine. So that's my biggest tip, is to just be yourself and try, maybe for a day just to like not use the scripts and to just actually talk to people. And I feel like that helps your business so much, because they want to talk to you and they're going to invest in you, and like they're buying you, not technically the product. So I would always just say to be yourself and try to put that little bit of effort in, whether it's to type out a message or your own post, or to reach out to somebody and it not be about the business, whatever it may be, just be yourself. And I think your business will skyrocket once you start to be you, because, there's however many It Works distributors, but there's only you. And like, there's somebody out there that just wants to sign with you and that needs your personality and your guidance. And so just to be yourself, I guess, is my biggest tip with social media in general.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you think of anything else too, feel free to jump back and say things while I'm talking. So, okay, Katie. So this would be, and I didn't really give you guys a proper introduction. Like, Emma, you're a double diamond, right? Okay, Emma's double diamond. Katie, you are diamond, or you double now?
Diamond.
Okay, but you're going to be double soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've been seeing the way you've been adding people like a rock star. It's crazy. Okay, so I want you to just tell me a little bit about what you do on a daily basis.
So I kind of do the same thing that Em does. When I wake up in the morning, the very first thing I do is I respond to any messages that I might have from follow-ups the day before, or just conversations the day before. And I work on Instagram as well. I bring in just as many from Instagram as I do on. Is that me?
No, I think it was someone else. Let me see who's not muted. That should be. Okay, got it. All right, go ahead.
So I was like, who's on a motorcycle? Mute yourself. So I'll go through and I'll respond to all my messages. And then I also work Instagram. So I have a thing, like a little system, I guess, where every morning I follow the maximum amount of people on Instagram that I can follow. And I do this first thing in the morning. That way I give them all day to follow me back. That way I'm not doing it late at night and expecting follows immediately. I'm giving them all day to follow me back. And
how many people do you follow per day on Instagram?
Well, there used to be a limit. It was 200. And then a couple of days ago, I went through and I was like, wow, I've been following people for a long time. And then it cut me off for 24 hours. It let me follow so many people. So I don't know if they cut the limit and they're just kind of watching. But I'll just go through for a couple.
How many people would you recommend?
I typically follow between 150 and 200 people a day. And then I'll probably get, I'm private on my Instagram, so I have to accept their request to follow me back. And that way I can say, or I can see if another It Works distributor or another MLM or network marketing representative is trying to follow me. I won't let them follow me. Unless they're my team or whatever. But that way I can monitor who's coming into my page and not. Right. And then I'll unfollow people who didn't follow me back. And for that I use the Cleaner app. For Instagram. But so I'll go through and I'll do that, and then I'll message people. I'm not very on point every 2 hours like Em does with posts, but I am consistent with them. For me, I do this full time. So me being this business bringing me home full time is enough reason for me to have that light bulb in my head that says, hey, I need to post something right now. When I was working full time in the beginning, I absolutely had to I didn't use Buffer or anything, because certain apps, depending on what you use, it actually says that you've used an app to post. So for me, I would use the airplane mode on Instagram, and then I would go through the night before, and even in my notes section, I would just type out a few posts, and then I'd be like copy and paste it throughout the day. And then as far as like pictures and stuff, I don't look cute very often, but on the days that I do, I just take a bunch of pictures, and then I use those like for the weeks to come. So just those little like tricks and stuff that I could do that help make my posts a little bit easier. And then throughout the day, I will follow up, or I will at the end of the day when I sit down, like after dinner, I'll go through and I'll message people who have liked or commented on my posts.
Do you repeat any of your posts?
If I go through my time hop and I'm like, ooh, that was really good, sometimes I will. And you know, like who's looking for a hair model or anything about the cleanse, once every couple of weeks I will repeat that post. But other than that, not usually.
So are you kind of like Emma, where you post every 2 hours, or how often do you post?
I don't post every 2 hours. Some days there are days where I've posted like 10 times, and some days there are days where I've only posted 4 or 5 times. To me, because I don't use alarms, I don't use an app, I don't use any of that. So to me, I just post when I think of it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know, like in my mind, hey, you know, it's been a little bit since I've posted. Like I've never gone 10 hours without, you know, posting on my page about my business. But just periodically, and some days I have like all these brilliant post ideas, and some days I'm super busy and I only have time to squeeze in like 3 or 4. So it varies.
So what can you give us an example of one of your favorite posts that you feel like has really brought in a lot of loyal customers?
I'm just going to keep piggybacking off of Ann. Like, I feel like she could have just talked and said everything. But when I first joined 2 years ago, those posts, those long posts with the 50 emojis and the pictures, those were what worked. Those were what brought in business 2 years ago. And now, because people evolve, people change, and like networks change, and we keep growing as whatever. So those posts no longer are as efficient anymore. People don't want to read 6 paragraphs. People don't want to see a brick and mortar standard it works graphic picture. So like she had said, for me, it's something as simple as just a sentence or two. Like last night I posted, I'm looking for one more person tonight who wants to make $500 a month working from their phone, and I had 10 people comment were interested. Whereas if I would have posted something that's like, you get this and this and this and training from me and this and this and free oils and blah 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 and bonus, I would probably get 2 likes just from other distributors.
Right.
So
the people that are liking and commenting and things, obviously you're probably like you're growing your market all the time. So are you adding to your market every single day? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. I'm through groups as well. I actually add 2 different ways. Through groups, I will go in and like she's in dog groups. I'm in certain groups for like my political or my, like for women, I know a strong subject for women is abortion. I do sit on one side of that fence, and I'm in a group for that side of that fence. So I will go in there, or, just even in pregnancy groups. And I will go in my pregnancy group, and this is so silly, but I'm a very green personality. And for those who know green, I research everything. I want to see the pie charts and the details and the everything. So I'm very in tune with what's going on in my pregnancy. But people don't know that. So I'll go into my pregnancy group and I'll ask a question that I already know the answer to, but I'm getting that interaction started. I'm getting my name out there. People are seeing that I'm in that page, and I'm getting to those comments, and I'm going back and forth with them. I don't just add people simply because they commented. I will respond to their comment and get like a little bit of a flow kind of going before I add them. That way I'm not just like a random stranger in their inbox. So I'll do that. And then another way that I also I have a goal to get a distributor in every state. That's like a personal goal of mine. So if I add somebody who's in Nebraska where I don't have a distributor, and they add me back, I'll go through, they have like that suggested friends list. And because they're already going to be a mutual friend, I have a higher chance of their friends also adding me. So I can go through and I can add their friends who are also in Nebraska. And I'll go through and I'll add obviously the girls, or I'm a mom, so I can relate to moms or people who have kids or anything like that. So I'll go through and I'll grow my network that way too.
So whenever you add people that you don't know, do you say anything to them, or you just add them and hope they add you back?
If they don't add me back, they don't add me back. About once a week, I'll go through like my sent requests and I'll cancel all the ones that weren't accepted. If you have too many sent requests, Facebook will actually throw you in like a Facebook jail. So I'll go through and I'll delete the ones that I haven't been accepted or anything. If they do accept me, I don't message them right away, because I've been on the other side of the fence where I've gotten, hey girl, thanks for adding me. I'm sharing my love for oils and this, and I can't wait to bring you into my life. And that just screams like I'm here because you're going to be a prospect for me.
Right.
I don't like that at all. So I'm not going to push that on somebody else. But within like a few days of following them or seeing their post, I will send them a message and I'll say their kids are cute. Or, hey, thanks for the ad. I know we don't know each other. You popped up in my thing and your Facebook looked interesting. But your family's adorable. Just complimenting them. I've never complimented somebody and had them be like, whoa, you're weird. So like, they're always just like, oh my God, thank you. You're so sweet, or anything like that. And then that gets conversation going.
So you're just building relationships with everybody basically that you're coming in contact with your Facebook.
Yeah. I will not on Facebook ever.
You will not what? Sorry.
I will not cold message on Facebook ever.
Well,
ever.
I think that's a great practice to not do. So thank you. I think it makes us look bad. And I really like that, you mentioned that, you're not going to, I can see maybe messaging someone and saying, hey girl, thank you so much for the ad. Like, your Facebook looked really awesome. And that's the end of it, or, whatever.
Because I don't, but you looked interesting, so I added you. Or right. I saw you have a son, and I'm always like, I have a son too. And it's just, we clicked in that sense. Adding people who, like, if you don't have kids, it's not to say you can't add people who don't, or who do have kids. But I always try to find other moms, because you're going to be able to build trust. Like, this business is all about being personal. It's all about building relationships and making friends. I always tell my team we're professional friend makers. And if you have common ground, like, I will go on Instagram. I have a puggle. I don't know where he is. He's probably chewing something, but I have a puggle. So if I follow other people who have puggles, we have common ground already, and we might not know each other, but it's something to build off of, versus trying to find someone who has nothing in common with me, no similar interests, no kids, no puggle, and being like, okay, where can we start our friendship off of? You know what I mean? So having that common ground helps a lot.
So what is like, I know, so have you been adding to your market that way where the way where we saw in that video, where she's, has her friends post a status for her,
yes.
Tagging, is that Emma and Kendra, have you guys been doing that too? Yeah. Is that working for you?
I actually did. So everybody that commented that they were interested, not everybody did order, but everybody that commented that they were interested did get a friend request from me. Yeah. And then about a week later, and I was able to add almost 100 people to my market that way. Yeah. A week later, when I talked about how I'm sending out everybody's free products, so I already know that they were interested because they commented that they were interested on that other person's post. Even if they didn't order, I know they're interested. So I'm making this post about how I was giving away free products, and they're like, wow, like, I want a free product. And now I'm saying I have a few more spots left, or a few more wraps left. If you want a free one, message me and I'll, whatever. And then those people are messaging me. Those people are in turn posting statuses, and now I'm reaching their market too.
So for the people who maybe don't understand what we're talking about right now, can you walk us through basically like what that is and what you're doing? So you're posting a status saying.
Yeah. So I would post something and I would say, whoever has not tried our product and would like to try our product, I'm able to give, the next 10 people or whatever. And that always creates a sense of urgency. I feel like I'm only giving away 10 free wraps. Like, that is it. Mm-hmm. So message me if you want yours. And I would message them, have them post a status for me. And I did switch it up between the cleanse and hair, skin, and nails. And then Fat Fighters even got a really good response.
Will you give us an example of the, I have only seen the cleanse one. What are you having them say for hair, skin, and nails and for fat fighters?
So it was pretty much the same thing. Like the cleanse was, hey, my friend Katie's looking for 5 people to try this cleanse. The hair, skin, and nails was, my friend Katie's looking for 5 people who are trying to grow their hair out and strengthen it from root to end. The fat fighters was, my friend Katie's looking for people who want to do a $25 weight loss challenge. And so just like that. And then I had them post the result pictures in the comments from there as well.
Okay.
But it did mix it up a little bit.
I like that. That's a really good idea. And so once they do that and they're tagging you in the post, are you keeping it in your timeline or are you hiding it from your timeline?
I'm hiding it from my timeline.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to accept ads or accept posts that I'm tagged in. I was tagged in probably over 50 statuses, and that's just too much for my friends to be seeing. That's too much.
And then it takes away from your posts that you already put up, and people aren't going to see those if they're so far down. So that's just one thing to keep in mind if you're doing that. So they're tagging you in these posts. Their friends are commenting. Do you tell them, hey, you don't have to do anything. I will take care of it. I will message everybody.
Yep. I will actually, I'll tell them, I'll say, because I did have, like, one person would comment and they would message me and they're like, oh, someone commented. And I'm like, the post has been up for 3 minutes. Like, I'll give it like an hour or two. So that way, and not every 10 minutes am I having to go through and message somebody new. Cause then I'm like, oh wait, did I message them? Did I not message them? So I gave it like an hour or two. I said, give it a little bit. I'll come back to it, after my son's baseball practice, and I'll contact everybody that's commented on it. That way they're not coming at me every 10 minutes going, ooh, another person commented. Oh, another person commented. Did you message her yet? Like, they know.
And that's good too. So for you busy moms, she feels like, you know what, I got my son's baseball practice, and that way I'm there for him for that. And then when I get back from that, I'm going to do that. So you're essentially, making your family a priority, knowing that you still have to work your business when you get back. Yeah.
Well, I know that a lot of people struggle, and I struggled with this too for a while. I felt guilty because I was spending so much time on my phone. And my son had actually one day and was like, when are you going to play with me? And he doesn't know what I'm working for. He doesn't know the future that I'm working for. He will one day, but he's 7 right now. So he's like, Mom, like, when are we going to build my Lego car? Like, what are we doing? You put your phone down. And it made me feel so guilty. And I felt like I was running in circles because I was giving 50% to my family and 50% to my business all day long. And what I found is better is where you do set aside an hour and I say, look, Christopher, I'm going to go up into my office. You do your thing for now. Give me 1 hour. When I come down in 1 hour, I will shut my phone off. You and I are going to go to the movies and get some ice cream. That way, I gave 100% to my business for that whole entire hour. And now I can give 100% to my son for that whole entire time. So where I'm not giving 50% to both all day long. And then, I'm half butting both of them. And I'm not getting anywhere. I don't want to swear.
I'm cutting it.
I don't want to.
Appreciate that. That's really good. That's actually really good advice for me too, because I tend to give 50% to both.
100%. Well. Yeah. That way I'm not like, oh, my phone, my son, my phone, my son, my phone, my son. I'm like, listen, bud, 1 hour, that's it. And then I'm all yours. So I'm giving
being in an office from 8 to 5.
Exactly. And it's not like I'm phone kid. And it's just like, when you're giving 50%, you're not going to get anywhere in this business only giving 50% of your effort to it. So, and your family also doesn't want just 50% of your effort. So you can still give both of them 100% just in separate time frames versus trying to give them 50-50 all day long.
Right.
That's where you get that guilty feeling of, I'm not spending enough time with my family, or if I spend time with my family, now I'm not focusing on my business.
I really like that. And you're very successful, so obviously that's working. So, I mean, I think for me, sometimes I'm like, if I don't get to them, someone else is going to get to them, but you know what? Yeah. If they do, they do, family is more important. And that's why it's why we do this business, so that we can work it into our everyday lives and put our families first.
Well, I feel like people understand lives. If someone messages you and 2 seconds later you're right there responding, they're like, if they're interested in the business, they're like, so do I have to just be like at everybody's beck and call all the time? Because I can't do that. I'm too busy. I'm way too busy to be on my phone all day long. So if I'm like, hey girl, sorry, I was at Christopher's baseball practice, or, we had a movie night. So now we can talk about whatever. They're like, oh, it's totally fine. I get it. And now they understand, and they're seeing that I went out to dinner and a movie with my family, and we went and got ice cream and did baseball. So I don't sit on my phone all day, and therefore neither do they. They don't have to either, and that makes them feel better that they don't have to be on their phone all day. So maybe they're not too busy.
You are so smart. You're so wise. Can't flip it. So back to the thing. So after after people comment on it, and then you give it an hour or two, whatever, then you go and you message each one of those people, and you're probably having a copy and paste thing, I'm assuming, because you have so many people you're messaging. So what is it that you're telling them?
The only thing I would recommend is if you're going to do different products, be careful, because I copy and pasted a cleanse to somebody for hair, skin, and nails, and they were like, what? It's like, oh, never mind, sorry. Like,
I've done that before too. Yeah.
Whoops. But I would send them a message, and I'm like, hey girl, I saw you commented on Allison's status about the cleanse. And in the post it said Katie's looking for 5 people. So I would message them, and I'm like, hey, I saw you commented on Allison's post. I only have 1 spot left for the cleanse now. And I'm just looking for somebody who'll be able to take it and give me their honest review in return for my discount. Does that sound like something you'd want to do? So I'm ending with a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also avoiding the whole, well, is it free, or, oh, I don't want to pay for it, and therefore I'm not wasting my time for people to just assume they're getting free products. I'm not giving it out right away, but I'm telling you, you're going to get my discount.
One of the things that I had a problem with is when I was doing this is not everybody was seeing the message because we weren't connected on Facebook yet. So how are you just trying to connect with them first, or what are you doing there? Are you just people aren't seeing it?
I added everybody on Facebook, and then I actually went through and I specifically under everybody's comment said, hey, I messaged you. And if they didn't get it, then, or they would see that I messaged them. And if they're like, hey, I didn't get it, I could be like, try to go to my page and click the message button, and it should pop up.
See, I'd be like, it might be in your other folder. That's good.
When commenting under their posts, I said, I messaged you, check your message request, just to like kill a bird with 2 stones. Because I had like,
why would you do that?
Getting them.
On one of somebody's post, I had just one comment at the very bottom said, I messaged you all. And I don't think I got a response from anybody on that post because.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't, you know.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one day I spent my entire day doing this the entire day, but I didn't have my kids that day. So I didn't feel so guilty, but I was still with like my fiance and stuff the entire day. Right. I don't think I signed anybody, but that happens sometimes. But the thing is, we're still planting seeds, and eventually we will reap some kind of harvest from it, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3, whatever.
And that's why I think it's so important to stay consistent. And I was just talking to a girl on my team today about it, is that we all have those people who are like, when they're in, they're amazing. When they're in, they're determined, they're motivated, they're on fire. And then a week later, you're like, what the heck happened? Like, what is going on? Because they're out now. And I feel like people come in and out because results come in and out. But that's just a part of business. And people think, oh, I had a good week last week and now it stinks and I had a good run. It's like, absolutely not. There have been, there was 1 month where I think I enrolled 3 customers, and the next month I enrolled 25 customers. It's just, if I would have given up, like business comes in and out, and that's not just network marketing. I worked for a deli for 5 years. Business comes in and out. It happens. Every single business, no matter where you are, has a season. If you quit if you planted a bunch of seeds last month and they didn't sprout yet or they didn't grow yet, and you quit now, when those seeds do grow, they're still going to order. It's just not going to be
else. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, those seeds that are planted, they will grow. They absolutely will grow, and you want to be there when they do grow.
That's exactly right. I mean, even as a presidential diamond, I'll tell you, there have been months where I have signed no one, not a single loyal customer, not a single distributor. So, if that doesn't say anything, yeah.
Right. But I sure as heck don't act like I didn't sign anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
So as far
you
as
still work your business, you still stay consistent. You still plant those seeds. Yep.
Right.
You don't give up just because you had a drought that month.
I've never had somebody come up to me and be like, how much do you make a month? Or how much do you make a week? Or what rank are you? I've never been asked that question because I've never given anybody any reason to believe I'm not killing it all the time. Like right out of the gate, they were like, dang, she's doing good. Right. I've never given reason not to believe it. And there have been months where I was like like down the crap or bad. There have been months where I've been so discouraged and in these ruts, but I didn't give anybody any reason to think that. And that's what kept my business growing.
That's awesome. So fake it till you make it sometimes, right?
Yep.
So what'd you say?
I'm sorry. Well, it's not even like, I feel like it's not even faking it. Sometimes I feel like it's having faith. Like
fake it till you make it.
I'm not faking that I'm a presidential diamond, but I have faith that I will be a presidential diamond. Right. So I'm not acting like one because I'm pretending that I'm one. I'm acting like one because I know one day I will be one.
Right. I actually usually say faith it till you make it because of that reason right there. Yeah. It still goes. It still goes. Okay. So once you message those people and you say, you know, blah, 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 does that work for you or whatever, you end with your question and say they respond yes. Then do you tell them about the product too? Or like Emma kind of goes into the product, you know, about what the product is. What do you do?
So usually in the cleanse post, it was, it kind of explains it a little bit. Like she's looking for 5 people to do a 2-day cleanse, that's going to detox and clean or whatever, increase your energy. So
help remove the sludge and bloating, blah, blah, blah. Right.
So, and when somebody comes up to me and they say, how does this work? They're not asking for the scientific background. Don't give them like even with the wraps, oh, it's got this, and this with anti-inflammatory properties and blah, blah, blah. And no, I just say it tight and tones and firm. It's like, don't overcomplicate it. So unless they ask, how does it work? I just assume that they got enough information from that post. I say, I have this one spot left. You get my discount. Are you interested? And 99% of the time they said yes. How much is it going to cost? So I have a little spiel kind of thingy that I do copy and paste. I'm not a big copy and paste fan, but when I'm sending out 100 messages at once, it kind of got to do it sometimes. Right. And it was something along the lines of, well, it's normally $60, but and I say, I will let you try it for $36. So like, I'm doing you a favor. I'm going to let you try this for $36. That way, they know they're getting a discount. They know they're getting a favor from me. I'll say it's normally $60. I'll let you try it for $36 with the 90-day challenge. And then I say, with the challenge, you just agree to have an additional product shipped to you for the next 2 months. It could be anything you want. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but you'll get my discount on it. Does that make sense?
I like that. That's
always,
yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Always end it with the question. Yes, it does. Either they ask a question about it, or they say, yes, it does make sense. And I always fail. So they say, yes, it makes sense. I said, great. Do you want me to walk you through placing your order, or I can get your info for you and place it for you right now? I said, whatever's easiest for you. And just assuming that order and being like confident in that order is what seals the deal.
That is good. I love your wording. That's really good. Mine is very similar, but yours is even more simpler, and I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm going to start using that because you already explained the 90-day challenge. See, I usually just say, you know, with my 90-day challenge, does that work for you? Then when they respond and they say, well, what's the 90-day challenge? Then I say, oh, that's just blah, 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 blah. But yours is just so much more simpler, and I love that you say with the challenge, it's, you know, just adding to – how do you say that again? With the challenge, what? I'm going to write this down.
No, you're fine. I've even had people like where I've said that, I'm like, it's only $36 with the 90-day challenge. They're like, okay, that's fine. But then I'm like, don't you want me to tell you what the challenge is? So at least I'm like, now I'm just like, boom, here it is.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's this much with the price, or I'll let you try it for this much with my 90-day challenge. And then I say, with the challenge, you just agree to have an additional product shipped to you for the next 2 months. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but you'll get my discount on whatever you decide to pick. Does that make sense?
Love it. That's so awesome. Since I'll come back later and get that, but I think I got it. It's great. Awesome. Good job. Okay. Yeah. So last thing I want to ask you is, just one final tip or tips that you want to give that you feel like could help people with their business.
So if you, and I had to kind of figure this out in the beginning because I was working 6 days a week. I was working doubles every single weekend. I could have easily pulled the whole I'm too busy card. Don't make your why your excuse, first of all. I'm 8 months pregnant, and I signed 32 loyal customers last month.
That's amazing.
It's possible. Very, very possible. But so when I was working 6 days a week, I was busy. I was volunteering at my son's school. I was working. I was, being a mom and a wife on top of that. It's already a full-time job. So what I would do is I made a 6 list. You've probably heard of it. Maybe some people haven't, but it was 6 things, 6 income producing things that I had to get done. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It doesn't matter what order I did it in. It doesn't matter when I did it, how I did it, where I did it. It had to be done. 6 things had to be done. And it was my 3-3 rule, adding 50 people on Facebook and 100 people on Instagram or whatever, following up with 5 potentials, loving on 5 teammates, just anything, checking credit card declines, literally any
basically
income.
Like power hour stuff. You could just pick through power hour stuff and see what you want to do that day. Yeah.
Even if, I tell people, if you're busy from sun up till sundown, do 3 of them before you get out of bed in the morning and do the other 3 before you put your phone down at night. It doesn't matter who, what, where, when, why, or how it gets done. It just needs to get done.
And this is a daily list. It's not a weekly list. Yeah.
Right. Every single day that needs to get done. It doesn't matter if you have everything going on or nothing going on. Somehow, some way, those 6 things must get done. And for me, it was after work. So it was like 10 o'clock at night, but hey, it worked. Pun intended. Right. It works. So
it works if you work it, right?
Yes. So
that's an awesome tip. And being consistent. You mentioned that earlier, just how important it is to be consistent.
Yeah. Even if you don't feel like it, there are, I was super sick. Like I didn't think there was a light at the end of the tunnel with this pregnancy. I was extremely sick. All day, every day. And there were times where I was like, if I even roll over to pick up my phone, I'm losing my lunch. And there were times where I was so exhausted. I did not feel good. But I told myself, you know what? I don't have to worry about maternity leave. I don't have to worry about paid time off. I don't have to be worried about daycare and going back to work. This business is keeping me home. I'm going to roll my sick butt over and I'm going to message those 10 people that I need to message. Whether you feel or not, we don't. And Black Diamond, Denise Walsh said this like 2 years ago at conference, and that stuck with me. You don't work your business based on how you feel. You work your business based on what you want. And I want to stay home with my kids, so I'm going to work it like I want to stay home with my kids.
I love that. That is so awesome. Girl, you're going to be in VIP this year, huh? Well, thank you so much for just sharing what you do. And I mean, it was very helpful for me too. I've been taking notes from you guys because I don't claim to know everything at all. I want to learn from you guys who are rocking it and who are leading. So thank you so much. And we will go to Kendra now.
Hello. Sorry if you can't see me. My son cracked my phone screen.
Oh, I can see you. That's fine. You're good.
Okay, good.
So Kendra, tell me, right. I don't even remember, what rank are you?
I'm Ruby. I've rebuilt my chart 4 times in the last 2 years.
There's nothing wrong with Ruby. Ruby's not just Ruby. Ruby's awesome.
Well, I didn't mean it like that. Like, I am Ruby. But no, I'll be diamond next month or this month. So for sure.
This month. I think it's going to be this month.
Yeah, for sure. How I'm going, it's going to be good.
Yeah. And you've been
I agree with Katie and like Emma. I start out my day, literally I wake up, and I know I'm not the only person. I wake up and I get on Facebook. I don't get out of bed. I just get on Facebook, and I'll like and comment probably like 20 people's things before I get out of bed, go to the bathroom, whatever, wake the kids up. And then I will post after I wake my kids up. I'll post a picture of them eating breakfast or us go getting donuts or just something, or like a quote or just something to start the day off. And then, yeah, I mean, that's how I really start my day. And it seems to work out because, I mean, people get up, people work night shift, and they're still, I mean, they're not going to bed yet. And so then I'm liking, commenting on their stuff. And of course, then they're going to see more of my stuff. And
so you're taking like 10 minutes in the morning and just commenting on like 20 people's stuff before you do anything else, basically.
Yeah.
You're getting like conversations going and building relationships like we were talking about. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much I just scroll and like, comment, whatever it may be, it's really like crucial for me to tell everybody happy birthday, like, because it'll give you a notification. I always tell them happy birthday, have like a great day or whatever, and they always come back, and I'm like, you're welcome. I'm a very outgoing person, so I'm always like, you're welcome, love, or just something. And not only that, but I will also personally message them, and it might take some time, but I'm like, hey, happy birthday, and they're like, oh my gosh. And probably in a month, I probably like 8 to 10 people, the people I told happy birthday, like personally and on their Facebook wall, I'm like, hey, happy birthday. I'm like, hey, I was actually curious too. I got some birthday money and I'm actually curious on trying a product. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's just the simple things like, and I know one of my teammates too, somebody actually commented back and said, hey, I'm actually interested in trying a product. Message me or something. So I really just start out with messaging or liking and commenting 20 people in the morning, and then I'll wake the kids up and big breakfast, and then I'll post. That's just my routine, and I don't set alarms. I used to use Buffer. I don't anymore though. I stay at home now, so I do this full time, and so it's just I post when I, like Katie said, like I post when I kind of feel like it, like when I feel it feels right. So I don't really necessarily, there was a time when I first started, I posted every hour on the hour, not about just it works, but like about the kids, clean house or like a quote or just a status. And I just felt like it was just too much. I was wearing myself down to where I was like, getting like not sick and tired of the business, but I was just exhausting myself. So that's really what I've simplified it to now.
So are you adding to your market every day as well?
Yes, lately I've been going above and beyond. I usually add like 50 to like 60 people a day. And I've actually started to the point where I get mad at myself because I'm pushing myself so hard if I don't get the notification that pops up that says, if you add any more people or whatever, you're going to get blocked or whatever. I try to push myself to that because that's just more people I'm like, I think 10 distributors away from Diamond. Okay. I don't have time to sit back and, wait. Like I want to like interact with people. And then of course the people I have added, on your recent, if you go to friends and it's like recent, it'll say mutual, recent, added, and then I'll go there and I'll just start from the bottom, go up to the top, and I will just like and comment on like 2 of their stuff. So it doesn't make it seem like different days. So it doesn't make it seem like I'm stalking them or whatever. But then they're seeing interaction. I will not message them if I don't cold message. I really try to build relationships with people. Whether like what Katie said, hey, you look interesting, or hey, I seen you have a beautiful family or whatever. I just try to grow relationships because I'm not gonna lie, I used to cold message, and at the very beginning of when I started this business 2 years ago, I kind of didn't know any better, and I look back and I'm like, what the heck was I doing? Like that completely ran my business. So wonder I didn't, sign very many people up then, and wonder I didn't, so I really just built off of what I used to do and made it better.
Awesome.
It's a really funny story. I don't want to interrupt, but when I first started, I cold messaged too, and I actually cold messaged Allison.
That's awesome.
I was like, hey, crazy rap thing, and she was like, I think you're on my team.
That's awesome.
But I wasn't rude. Like some people are rude, but I was not rude. Okay, so give me an example of one of your posts that you feel like really gets a lot of interaction or helps get that conversation.
Yeah.
Going.
So I suck at Instagram, but Michaela is my upline, Michaela Daniels. And she's really helped me, and I watch a lot of like Instagram training, and I'm actually getting the hang of it now and been really consistent. And I actually I'm so proud of myself, but I actually signed my first loyal customer off of Instagram last month, so I was pretty excited. Right. But I've been just keeping them simple, like, hey, I need like 4 hair, skin, and nails models, like, hey, like, and then I think another one was Like I'll post a picture of my kid or something, like holding a two or just whatever, just a picture of them in general. And I'm like, hey, Bubba, like today I said, Bubba is looking to add a couple more people to our team. He's looking for fun, energetic people. I mean, my kids are kind of my life. So I really just add them into it. And not only does it look like that, but it's not join my team. Or I used to post a lot of before and after pictures. If I do anymore, it's in the comments, because I wasn't getting good. People just always had something negative to say.
Right.
Like, I mean, it was always, so I try to stay away from that. And like Em said, I post like with the product, or like today I posted my son, he had some mask on and he was holding Confanza, and so I was like, hey, this is keeping me sane. I was saying why I'm playing around with him and giving me energy while I clean house. And I got a girl, she was like, what is that? Like and I haven't really got a lot of likes and comments on my stuff lately, which is discouraging to me, but at the same time that people aren't seeing it, I'm getting messages, so they're just not liking and commenting, but they're messaging me. So
people are always watching, and that's what people have to realize. Even if you are posting and no one's liking anything, don't get discouraged, because people are watching. There have been people that just literally, I'll have a post and it's crickets the whole time, but then I'll get 2 years later somebody will be like, I've been watching you for all this time. You just never know.
Yeah. Well, I posted like a distributor post. It was just a small, like simple, like short paragraph of my story or whatever. And 2 weeks later, I had somebody comment on it and they actually signed up. So, I mean, people do look at your stuff no matter what. And just like on Facebook, you'll see people like from 2 days ago, 10 hours ago, today, it's never just today. So, I mean, keep that in mind too. Always be consistent.
You have all said simple posts work the best. Grow your market every single day. Be positive, right? I mean, do you think that you can be a negative person on social media and grow this business?
No, that's the number one killer. Like, you are pretty much killing your business. And I know that sounds really harsh, but I'm a very blunt person, but very nice. But I mean, it's true. Like, I'll even get on to like a couple of my teammates, and it's out of love and they know it. But I'm like, hey, you're being negative, like, whatever. And they're like, okay, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not anything towards you or anything. But like I think Katie said, people are buying you before they buy a product or buying anything. They're buying you. Yes, we all have bad days. Yes, we all, have our moments, whatever it may be. But you can show it in a different way on Facebook instead of saying, oh my God, my life sucks. Like, oh my God, I'm so, instead of that. Because then people are going to be like, she was just happy, an hour ago, or she was just happy a day ago, and now this. It kind of ruins your business. And
right. Don't be airing your dirty laundry on Facebook, because you could one second being like, join my It Works team, it changes your life, and then like your next post is like, oh, I'm so broke, my car broke down, blah blah blah, like that. Yeah. No one's gonna want to join you. And like Emma said earlier too,
you can turn crappy
Confianza post.
What was that?
Yes, and just like Allison, you just said something about. Go ahead, Katie.
I was gonna say, I tell people, turn your crappy life into a Confianza post. That's what I tell people.
That's a really good idea.
Turn your crappy life into a Confianza post. Like,
I'm writing that down.
So you can tell people, my life sucks today. I am having the worst day of my life. This went wrong, this went wrong, this went wrong. Thank God I have Confianza. So you're still getting it off your chest, but you're your business, I guess.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. Yeah.
You're a genius, Katie. Seriously.
And Allison, just like the whole, you said your car broke down. Why, you can put that, just like Katie just said, you can put it into, oh my God, my car just broke down. But I'm so thankful that I can work for my phone and make money. And, you can turn it into something positive, even though it's a negative situation or crappy situation.
Right.
Yeah. So you can always make it.
But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really good. I love that. Because sometimes I'll just stay away from those in general, but I like that you can turn it into something, don't make it just a rant. At the end of that, be like, but you know what? I got Confianza and I'm okay now, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the last thing I think, because we're almost, I guess we're probably about time, but will you tell me your biggest tip or tips that you'd like for people to take away that, you think would help them?
Yeah, be consistent. And I actually think I love Jade Hooper, and I watched a video the other day, and she said, be consistent, be exciting, and be confident. People can like vibe off of you, like they can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And my biggest thing that I'm doing and have been, and it's got me really far, voice messaging. If you don't have an iPhone, fine, that's okay. But you can voice message in a messenger on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They can hear your voice. Like, I sound like a man. Like, I'm cool. I'm not, but I sound like a man on recording, but I do. But you know what? If you just see like the excitement in your voice and how you talk, and I mean, a text can do one thing, but hearing their voice and saying, oh my God, I cannot wait for you to join my team. You're going to rock this. Like, just being exciting, it just gets them excited. And they're like, okay, this is right. You know what I mean? Like, this is the right decision to make. She's excited to have me. I am going to do great. I mean, that's my biggest tip, is be confident, excited, and use that voice message all you can. Trust me, I didn't want to at first, and it was nerve-wracking. My heart would race, but I've gotten so much feedback off of there, even just like, hey, have a good day, like have a good week or whatever, like thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. I had a girl the other day goes, oh my God, I can't believe you just sent that. You must have just heard my prayers or something like that. Like, I needed that. And it was just a have a good week, girl, or something like that. It's just, I guess it's the little things that turn into big things.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So I had one more thing, and none of you guys talked about Facebook Live. Is that something that you feel like is important at all, or?
I'm not a shy person by all means. I'm very outgoing, but I get really nervous on Facebook Live. I start to stutter. But I've done it a few times, and I got a lot of feedback from it. I started to kind of do Facebook Live like of my kids, so or just like be live on there just to get interaction so people see, and then I'll follow it up with like, just something about the business or something. So
because when you Facebook Live, like everybody can see that you're going live on Facebook, like a notification pops up.
Yeah.
If you're a friend. I do notice sometimes if I go live too many times in a day that people unfriend me, but you know what, I'm okay with that too, because there are probably people who don't care about my life anyway, so make room, because I'm at my limit all the time. What about you, Katie or Emma? What do you feel about Facebook Live?
I love Facebook Live. People don't believe me when I tell them that I'm shy. Like, if I know you, that's great. Like, if I know you and we're vibing, that's cool. Don't you dare ask me to stand up in front of anybody and start talking. Like, I'm super shy. So I like Facebook Live for the fact that, like, I'm talking to everybody, but I'm not talking to everybody. And I actually learned through a little bluebird. I'll message you later. This is funny, actually. But I learned it's funny. That with the Facebook algorithm, if somebody comments on your post, and this is why I'll get on other distributors' live videos, but I will not comment on them. And I'll show love, but I will not comment, because if you comment on someone's live video, you're sharing them into your network times 7. So every comment that someone gets, it's going to my friend, to their friend, to their friend, to their friend 7 times out. Every single time you comment on someone's video. So if you're doing live videos, you'll notice how a lot of like top income earners, or like a lot of people who go live, like Christina Watts or Jade Hooper or, Tiffany Her, they will like talk to somebody like as it pops up in their feed. They're like, oh, hi, so-and-so, how are the kids? Or let me know where you're watching from. So, cause they're asking
comments.
Yes. They are asking for that interaction. Versus if you don't pay attention to them at all, which I understand, because sometimes you get like sidetracked and now you forgot what you were talking about because you're too busy reading the comments, and it happens. But getting that interaction, I have people who hop on my lives all the time that I'm not even friends with, or I get friend requests from people who hop on my lives. And then I've signed loyal customers from doing Fat Fighter demos, people that I wasn't even friends with before. Mm-hmm. Somebody somewhere in their network commented on my video. So it's super important. And then I also don't make them about business every time. Something that I want to try that I haven't told my husband about yet, but he's going to do it anyways. is that I want to do like, it's like a little game kind of thing where one person wears headphones and listens to really, really, really loud music and has to read the other person's lips. And it's supposed to be funny, but then you can ask your commenters, what should I say to them? What should I try to get them to read out of my lips? And then again, you're asking for interaction. So be that person that where not every time you go live, they roll their eyes thinking that you're talking about business. So that way they can still tune in and know that you're not just always about it works.
Exactly. That's good. What about you, Emma? Anything on that?
Just to piggyback off of what she was talking about with commenting on other distributors' live videos, don't comment on like any distributors, like anything, like ever. What I do is like, I'm friends with obviously everyone on my team or like Sideline Sisters, but be friends with them, but don't follow them. So like if like you accept me as a friend request or whatever, I'll go to your page and where it says following, I'll say unfollow. So we're still friends, but I don't want you in my newsfeed because that doesn't grow my business. Because then you start showing up to my friends. And it's even things like Facebook business pages. Like I'll have on my newsfeed like Stephanie Dunn's business page pop up every single day. And you know how at the top it says like so-and-so and so-and-so and however many other 1,000 people like it. The people that are liked it are always distributors. So that's showing on your newsfeed to your potentials. And if they click that and they're like, well, they make this much money a month, like I should join. Like you just want to make sure that you keep it just you on your page, just to piggyback off of that. So never be friends with people, but if you are friends, just unfollow them and don't be like constantly commenting or liking. Because obviously we want to support each other, but that in turn negatively affects our business in a way. And then to be honest, I've never gone live on Facebook and I should. So you can never stop learning. I guess that's just honest to say, like that's something I should start doing and I've wanted to start doing. And I probably told myself like 14 times I'm going to, and I haven't. So I'm going to work on that because we can never stop learning. We can always work on things. So I will go live this month. I'll make you guys that promise.
Awesome. And so that brings me to my last thing that I want to talk about. None of you all talk about personal development either. So is that something that you think is important? Like give us some examples of things you're doing right now to develop yourself.
You need to read the book 5-Second Rule. I'm throwing that out there. You have to read it.
Rule?
5-Second Rule. Have you heard of it?
I haven't even heard of that. Although I say it all the time when I drop stuff on the ground.
It is changing. It's not food. It is changing my business and my life. Like it has come into like my marriage, me like being a better mom, my house is cleaner, like literally every aspect of my life. And just the lowdown of it is that when you hesitate on something, your brain clicks and goes, oh my gosh, why is she hesitating? Your body goes into like this panic mode, like even blitzing. If you wait too long, the blitz never happens. If you wait too long, you overthink it, you overcomplicate it, you scare yourself, you back out. You never know, like that could have been your rock star. So basically it's just going over like the very second something pops into your head, you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you better do it before you get to 1. If you don't do it before you get to 1, there's a 90% chance it's not going to get done. And that's getting out of bed in the morning, working your business, not blowing up on your spouse for whatever reason. I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, I love you, baby. Like anything, really anything. And I'm so in love with it, probably you can tell, but just read it. Just read it.
Who's it by?
Mel Gibson. No, not Mel Gibson.
By Mel Gibson.
Her name is Mel Robbins. Hang on. Let me check my thing real quick. It's Mel,
Mel Gibson.
Hang on. It's Mel Robbins. It's Mel Robbins. I like Mel Gibson too, though. It's Mel Robbins. It's called The 5 And I actually have it on Audible because I have really bad, like, squirrel OCD, like bad. So I have it on Audible, and then I'll, like, Bluetooth it in my car.
Yes.
It's good, though.
That's the only way I can read books anymore because I don't have time. Okay, that's awesome. So personal development's very important, you would say.
Yes, Mel freaking Gibson.
Kendra and Emma, do you guys have a book or anything that you recommend?
I love You're a Badass. That's a really good one. She's really raw. I do self-development all the time, like every day, twice a day. It's really important for me because not only does it grow like myself, it grows my business. And I just think it's important, even if that's like reading a book every day or like on Audible, because I don't have time to read and I am not a very good reader, or just even doing or like getting on YouTube and finding videos, training videos on whatever. I mean, I try to grow myself every single day, and I can notice a difference when I don't do my self-development.
Let me tell you guys a book that I think you all should read too. It's called Go for No. So that's a really, really, really good book, and it will change your business. So if you haven't read, if you're looking for something else, read Go for No. It's super good. So I had a hard time with the one you just suggested, Kendra, just because it had a lot of cuss words in it, and I don't like cuss words.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's very, very raw, but it was a good one. But I understand where you come from, because at first I was like, oh my gosh, she just said that.
And I was listening to it on Audible, and I didn't realize, and so I was like, oh my goodness, I have children in the house, so I'm like turning it off, and I just couldn't finish it. So
yeah,
anyway.
understandable.
What about you, Emma?
Well, sorry, because I think I'm the person that actually like suggested that book to everyone, because I'm like super red with stuff like that. But I mean, I will read as many books as I possibly can until the day that I die. But for me, it's such a huge part of your business. And I always say that what a million people say, that your paycheck will never outgrow your mind. So if anyone, whether they're an executive or a diamond on my team or whatever they are, if they come to me, my like no word is discouraged. I don't like that word. I don't take it well. It upsets me. So if anyone comes to me and they're like, oh, I'm discouraged, or, oh, this isn't working, or I feel this or this, literally the first thing I say is like, what book are you reading right now? Or like, are you doing self-development? Whatever it may be. Because if you're not, you don't understand like how much your mind can grow. You have no idea. Because when I started this business, I always say this, I was in such a different place as to where I am now. And because of doing self-development, like in return with the business, has completely changed my life. So it's not just about the money or the paycheck or anything else, but just the way that I've grown in strides as a person. If you are not, like we said, Audible, if you can't read it, listen to it, even if it's just a YouTube video, while you're in the shower, whatever it is, if you take 5 minutes a day, it will literally change your entire business.
Completely agree. And we're not just saying this, you guys. So make sure that you do some kind of self-development. There are so many amazing books out there. The Circle Maker is also really great. Anything by John Maxwell is great. There's so many good books. Go for No, like I told you earlier. Some of the ones that they've mentioned, I probably have like a huge list of ones I could give you guys, but there are so many good books that will completely change your business. And I know again, she even said, like, just listen to something on YouTube, like find something motivational or something on YouTube. Anything like that will help you grow your business. So anyway, any last things you guys that you thought of while we were talking? Good. We went over an hour just a bit, but we did pretty good on time, I think. Thank you, Kendra. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Emma. You rocked my world. Thank you guys for being on tonight. I hope it was helpful. And I better stop the recording.